We made people a lot of money in the past, and those people follow us because they want to make more money again.
Yeah.
And so we have, I would say, more sticky shareholders who will support us over a period of time. And that's great for the sort of company we have. So, yeah, there's shares available for retail to buy, and we would love to see more retail in our stock, frankly. But we have some very supportive shareholders too, and that's important. This is a long-term investment business.
Welcome to In It to Win It. This is Steve Barton, and thank you for tuning in. We're here at the 2025 Rule Symposium in Boca Raton. We are here with Simon Ingram of Lara Exploration. Simon, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, Steve.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, so go ahead and give us your elevator pitch. Start off with market cap, cash, and debt.
Okay, so we're a prospect generator with a project in Brazil. It's a copper project. Market cap, 90 million Canadian. That's 68 US. We have no debt. What else did you want to know?
Cash.
Cash. We have just under 4 million in cash.
Okay, and that's Canadian.
Canadian, that's correct.
Canadian. Okay. All right, so you're a prospect generator primarily out of Brazil, right?
Brazil and Peru,
Brazil
South
and Peru.
American focused. Yeah, exploration is really risky, and the prospect generator model is the model that works. If you want to be in business a long time and give yourself the amount of time you need to discover, we're a very technical team, and we have a good track record of discovery. We discovered the Timok project in Serbia a few years ago. That's the 13th largest copper discovery in the last 30 years worldwide. So we started that company up. We were founders of that company. Market cap $13 million, share price 65 cents. Sold it a few years later, $9.40, created $500 million of value for our shareholders. So
Okay.
we know how to do this business, and what we have in Lara is another copper project, not quite as big, but pretty significant nonetheless.
Okay, out in Serbia, was that a copper porphyries? Or?
It was a very high grade copper gold deposit sat over top of a big porphyry.
Okay.
And Freeport was our partners, and Zijin ended up building it. What I'm probably most proud of is that project became a mine and generates 2% of Serbia's GDP.
Wow.
So that's, you start off $13 million
Yeah.
market cap and you generate 2% of a country's GDP.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's discovery.
Yeah,
that's
discovery.
Value creation through discovery.
Yeah. Okay, so go into your track record. Tell us your experience, the experience your team has, and how that relates to what you're doing now.
Yeah. So our team are all professionals with a fair amount of experience. I think the big thing is experience. So we've all had 20 years, and Mike, our head of exploration out in Brazil, he's had probably, he wouldn't want me to tell you, but he's probably got 40 years of experience, and that's experience of walking over deposits that become mines, finding stuff. And our job is to find stuff. Miles, he set up the company 18 years ago. And this is the point. This company's probably been run in its purest sense as a prospect generator. We're running 18 years, 55 million shares out, never done a rollback. That's unheard of.
Huh.
You walk around this room, you will not find a company that's been running that long, never done a rollback, and only got 55 million shares out. And that's because we don't dilute. We hate dilution. It's almost we're allergic to dilution.
Yeah.
So the prospect generator is always using other people's money to test ideas.
Yeah.
And when you have discovery success is multiples of your share price.
Yeah. Okay, go into the prospect generator model just so everyone's on the same page.
Yeah, sure. So exploration is risky. We're talking almost casino risk when we go out and explore. And that's a big challenge because you need money and you need time to explore. You can be the best team in the world. You're not going to do it overnight. And the way that we mitigate that risk is coming up with ideas, but using other people's money to test those ideas. And if they fail, well, we haven't blown up the register. We can continue. But if we're successful, those partners that we've got will earn a share of the project, an ever increasing share. But our share, although smaller, will be worth an awful lot more money because it's a discovery.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, you have Rio Tinto or BHP, and they say, "Hey, we like this project you got. Can we drill it out?
Yep.
We'll pay for it." And you say, "Sure. However, if you find something, we want 2% NSR or whatever."
Usually it's sort of earn-in, so they'll agree to spend this much money or complete this level of study for a bigger and bigger percentage of the project. And what you hope to do is get to the point they're going to build it with 30% of the project, 20% of the project, or whatever, and then you're worth something.
Yeah.
Because if BHP are building your project, they don't build small projects; they build big projects, and they're worth a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you've had we could call it a near miss. It's not really. You got a smaller company wanting to develop the project, then it's worth a little bit less, but it's still worth a lot more than when you started.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Let's go through some of your key projects. Let's start with your Planalto.
Yeah. So Planalto is a copper discovery we have. We made that discovery. Actually, unusual for the company, we did actually drill this project. It was such high conviction level within the company that we drilled a few holes. And actually, Capstone came in as our partner on this one. Capstone invested $10 million, did quite a lot of drilling, and Capstone grew as a company. And they felt that as they've grown, that this project really wasn't going to be big enough for them. And I think they're a hugely professional company, and very professionally, they said, look, we're just going to give this back to you. We've got other things to focus our time on, other things that we need our management for. So we got the project back. So now we own it 100%. We had $10 million of de-risking money spent on it, which has allowed us to put the time in. We did some re-logging, reinterpretation, and we now have a resource which we published, 200 million ton resource, open pit resource. The mineralization is right on surface. The project's amazing. It's in the Carajás. Carajás is one of the preeminent mining districts in Brazil. A lot of iron ore mining, so some railways. We're right on the highway, the main highway. 3 power lines through the project, which is quite remarkable that you can be in such good infrastructure. 2 huge mining towns next door. So this sort of project is a project that gets developed because it's in the heart of the infrastructure, a really well-trained workforce all around. And it's an agricultural community. And in fact, our project's on a cattle farm. So we have very good access. There's no primary forest, there's no First Nations, there's no monuments. So all these are usually challenges for permitting. We don't have any of those things. Yet we're on the highway, power lines over our heads. So it's a perfect place to be building a new copper mine. And an open pit, really easy. Mineralization comes to surface.
Yeah.
And to be honest, the type of mineralization is pretty decent because it's chalcopyrite. It's only one mineral. It floats incredibly well. We get, like, the studies indicate about 29% concentrate with no penalties in. So it's a very desirable concentrate. So we're working on the PEA. PEA is probably going to come out in the autumn. And I think we'll see a re-rating. We're trading $1.80 or so at the moment. Say $90 million Canadian market cap, 68 or so US. That's a big difference between what the real value of the project. And a PEA is telling you, is it a mine or not a mine? Yeah. If it's a mine, you make money. If it's not going to be a mine, no one's going to make any money because you're never going to build it.
Yeah.
We've done the work. We for us, we're convinced it's going to be a mine, and it's going to be worth an awful lot more money than our market cap reflects. So we'd like to see a re-rating coming in the autumn after the PEA. It's a good time to buy stock today, to be honest. It's
and that region, Carajás, that they're all miners there. Infrastructure's in place. You're not trying to build this in California. That's in an area in Brazil that it's part of their culture and it's who they are.
It's absolutely amazing that the royalty system set up there, that 60% of the royalties you pay as a miner go back to the municipality where production happens. So yeah, it's a mining community, but the money that goes back into the community is the community where the action happens. So if you live in a mining community, you also get some of the money back. So even if you're a farmer living there, you see improvements in your town, you see improvements in the medical standards, the schooling, even the sidewalks and lighting. Cana, where our project is, it's really, fantastic little town.
Yeah. Okay. Liberdade?
Liberdade. So most, our company's value, we have a lot of projects. We're a project generator, so we always have a lot of projects. What I would say, most of our value is all locked up in Planalto now.
Okay.
All these other projects are optionals.
Yeah.
So you're getting options for nothing.
Okay.
And that's great. So Liberdade is a great project, probably similar size to what we have in Planalto. It's in a legal dispute. Codelco are partner, so huge mining companies are partner on that one, and they're working through that. So that's kind of, the legal system runs, the cogs turn fairly slowly.
Yeah.
But one day that will get resolved, and then we'll see value in that. But
Okay.
at the moment, we're not getting value.
Okay, just optionality, nothing.
Absolutely,
okay.
yeah.
So what?
So we've moved, to be honest, we've moved from a prospect generator, we've generated, so now we're a developer.
Yeah.
So a lot of the assets we have, while we're still generating new ideas because it's in our DNA, we're really a development company, and our value is being reflected by Planalto, and hence the PEA being so important.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so what percentage would you say, if we had to break this down as investors, like, okay, what percentage of this bet is on copper? What percentage are there any other metals that are at Planalto, or is it?
It's copper and gold. So we're
gold.
about 95% of the value of the project is copper and 5% is gold, if you think about economic value.
Okay, so this is a copper bet.
Yeah,
with a dusting of gold.
Absolutely, a little sprinkling, which is always worth having.
Yeah.
I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Insider ownership. Who owns your company? Vested partners. What's available to retail?
Yeah. So you don't run these companies for this long without becoming significant shareholders, because there's ups and downs, and often when the downs happen, you have to finance your own company. So we're nearly 20% ownership of the company management.
Okay.
Miles, the founder, owns 10, and if you go back, you can see insider transactions this year we've all bought. And that you
bought what?
We've all bought. Management have all bought stock in the last year in the market.
Okay. And so what percentage is available to retail?
Well, it's always difficult to tell with these small companies, but about 30 or 35% is available to retail.
Okay.
We have Adrian Day owns nearly 20%.
Okay.
So it's a pretty significant amount. He's a big supporter of ours. We have probably in the mid-20s, we would say, family offices. These are high nets, family offices. We made people a lot of money in the past, and those people follow us because they want to make more money again.
Yeah.
And so we have, I would say, more sticky shareholders who will support us over a period of time. And that's great for the sort of company we have. So, there's shares available for retail to buy, and we would love to see more retail in our stock, frankly.
Okay.
But we have some very supportive shareholders too, and that's important. This is a long-term investment business.
Yeah, yeah. So about $7 out of 10 are not selling. The other 30% are available to retailers.
It's probably fair to say that, and I think you'll see a lot more interest once our PEA goes out, because it's really a reflection, as I said earlier. Is it a mine or not a mine? We're pretty convinced it's a mine, and I suspect the PEA will convince a lot of other people this is definitely something you need to follow, and I suspect there's plenty of other groups out there would like to own a copper mine to develop. And this is pretty much what it is.
And when you say the PEA is coming out in autumn, do you mean Brazil autumn, or do you mean America autumn?
Great question. No, I'm based in London, so unfortunately, autumns are pretty clear. So we're talking September.
Okay, all right,
September.
okay.
Yeah, that's a very good question.
A cheeky question.
Yeah. At least I knew the answer to that one. So, that's good.
All right. How big could Planalto be? Like, what's the size of the prize now?
And how can it get bigger? Yeah, that's a good question. And every good promoter will say it could be huge.
Yeah.
The reality is this is not going to be a Rio Tinto or a BHP type asset. It's not a majors asset. But if you look at our presentation, you'll see a table that shows the top discoveries in the last 10 years, and we're in that top 15. So it's not a tiny discovery at all. If you think of the last 10 years of copper exploration, that's what's been generated. Our companies our assets on the list. So that is pretty significant. So what is it? We're 200 million tons of resource at the moment. Can we make it bigger? Yes, we've already got soil geochemistry and trenching, which would indicate some good targets for drilling, and actually good targets with potentially more grade. And grade is king in whatever deposit you have. So yes, there's good opportunity to make it bigger, but it's not going to be 5 times the size, and we're not here to tell you otherwise. Maybe we can increase it. I don't know. Is it 20%? Is it 30%? Is it 40%? That type of order of magnitude. Unless we drill deeper around our granites, which we haven't explored yet, maybe deeper down we'll find something. It's a pretty big system we're in. But right now, what we've got, we know is a mine.
Yeah.
And so there's always that dichotomy for management teams. How much money do you spend on finding something much bigger versus how much money do you find on developing what you've got?
Yeah.
And there's a push-pull on that. So, of course, we'll do some more exploration, but we have an asset we know will become a mine, so we need to move that forward as well.
Okay. All right. And today, what is the principal unanswered question? What's the biggest unanswered question? What's the unanswered question, and what's it going to cost to answer it?
Yeah, that's great. I think the PA is answering a big question, and that's that question: what's the potential of this becoming a mine? And the answer is, this is going to be a mine. So the next big unanswered question is ultimately, how is it going to be a mine? So we've got some very good ideas, and that's what you run through the studies of preliminary economic study, which we're putting out, and then you do pre-feasibility and feasibility. And so running through those processes, there's a $10 million, $15 million check to run through those processes. But that's the big question is, how is it going to be a mine? As to, we know it's going to be a mine. It's now looking at those fine details and actually looking at where can we make operational improvements to what that mine might look like. So, how can you be more efficient in the capital? How can you be more efficient in the operation? For instance, we've done some test work. We know that the mineralization floats really well. The chalcopyrite floats really well. What we have found is if we grind it a little bit finer, we can float 4% more copper off. Well, 4% is a big deal, especially when you've got hydroelectric energy here. Hydroelectric energy, 3.5, 4 cents per kilowatt hour. Very, very cheap, very, very green. So do you spend more electricity to grind it finer and get more copper out? There's a trade-off in that.
Yeah.
Probably it's a pretty positive trade-off. And a lot of the stuff we're seeing is positive when you start looking. But all that, you need to do more engineering work, and that's, takes time.
Yeah.
So those are sort of unanswered questions. And of course, we're explorationists. We like to discover new stuff. We'd like to drill some more holes. Can we find those extra tons there? Could we find something that's much bigger around the granite, contact, etc.? It's interesting. It needs money and needs some time to do it.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is there anything I should have asked that I didn't? Any closing thoughts?
I think closing thoughts are, copper's a really interesting space to be in, and I think we can't not say something about copper in the context. And I think that what we're seeing, and we're seeing in some of the investigations in the US and some of the statements around tariffs, is that copper has been an overlooked metal. It's used in absolutely everything. They call it Dr. Copper because it reflects the economics of the world effectively. Yeah. And what we're seeing in the world is that a lot of copper is being processed from concentrate to metal in China, which by and large the West has lost a bit of control of. And what we're seeing in a reflection in the US is statements around tariffs is trying to get a bit of control back. And that realization that as we electrify more, as we lift more people out of poverty, they buy things like air conditioners, refrigerators, electric cars, electric scooters. As they electrify more, it's all copper. Yeah. So where is that copper coming from in the future? It's new mines. It's taking a very long time to develop. It's taking hard to find them, taking a long time to develop them. So anyone who's got a copper asset that you can move quickly in a jurisdiction that permits well is going to make money. Yeah. And I think that's a really important thing. So if you're an investor looking at projects, it's looking at what projects are going to be the successful projects in the future. And owning copper in your portfolio is a good thing. So we're really, really encouraged actually by what we hear. It's actually quite negative news, but if you're in the copper space, it's hugely positive.
Yeah.
So it's exciting.
And if viewers want to get a hold of you and follow,
just jump on our website, laraexploration.com. Got our contacts there. Chris McIntyre is our VP Corporate Development. Chris loves to talk and would be more than happy to receive a phone call and chat through about the company. And you want to buy stock, if you can't find it, phone Chris and he'll help you find it.
Okay, awesome.
That's great.
Thank you very much, Simon.
You're welcome.
All righty.
And thanks for the time.
Thank you for tuning in. Go to stevebartonmoney.com for more and have a wonderful day.